let's talk about the biggest winners and the biggest losers of the recent patch. Gonna start with changed Pokemon, and I will still add some Pokemon towards this list that also didn't get changed. So first one, I think the biggest loser, I'm gonna start just with the biggest loser because I'm happy it is Mewtwo Y. I think it's still probably going to be a Pokemon that people are going to play, and you will still win games on it. It's still pretty strong, and you can have a lot of impact. Unite Move didn't get changed. Side Track is still very strong. I think it's still going to be in a high tier, but it doesn't matter what, it lost a lot. Straight up. One of an insane nerf, no longer crit rate. I think it's actually one of the biggest nerfs as well. It used to have 20% crit rate, now it has 0, and you notice it a lot playing as Mewtwo Y. Also, Recover got a huge nerf, and again, they're all very noticeable. So then we have Lapras. I mean, Lapras did lose a lot, but it's still probably going to be a top tier Pokemon as well. Water Pulse, you can also just go back to playing like XP share Water Pulse, and it might still be a top tier defender going for that build. Perish Song does feel pretty bad now. I played it a few times, and you notice that Perish Song got nerfed pretty hard, so might be a change of going back to Water Pulse. But besides that, Lapras with the Unite move is still going to be quite strong. Blaziken is a great win of this patch. The buffs feel amazing. I noticed it a lot when I play Blaziken, how much more my Unite moves are up now, how often I can change my stance. It's really noticeable and makes Blaziken a lot more fun to play and allows me to just get a lot of more abilities out, which also means more healing because my passive procs more often and stuff. So it feels very nice, and I'm very happy with how Blaziken is, you know, playing right now in the meta. I think it's quite solid. The Sidra is a huge winner. Razor Leaf, I still don't know. Razor Leaf is maybe good if you have like a defender, if you have a support healing Pokemon that you play with. It's actually quite fine. But outside of it in solo queue, it is still a winner because Spirit Shackle is amazing and the Unite move buffs are huge, right? If you just ignore Razor Leaf, the Unite moves buffs are still big for Spirit Shackle, to where the Sidra ends up being a big winner of this patch as well. Just for that reason, because Spirit Shackle is amazing, and now you can Unite move one more time per game, maybe even twice more per game, which is a huge difference. You will have it up for every team fight. You can always do Spirit Shackle, hit someone, and instantly Unite move, and try to burst down teams. So, doesn't matter what, it's a big winner. Tyranitar, I mean, Tyranitar is also a winner because of Lifesteal now, also working on his true damage. So, pretty good, and I think Tyranitar is going to climb the ranks a tiny bit, after all the top Pokemon also got nerfed, and I think it's going to be very happy with those buffs. I mean, it might not sound like a lot, but having more lifesteal on someone who deals a lot of damage, especially on Unite move as well, hitting multiple targets, it shouldn't be underestimated, that's for sure. Blissey, honestly, I don't think anything changed for Blissey. Of course, it's a bit of a loser, but in the end, you can just play Softboiled Egg Bomb. Unite move got nerfed a tiny bit. I don't think it's gonna matter too much for Blissey. Of course, it might disappear from like the Safeguard Helping Hand, but you know, back then, before Mewtwo Y was out, Blissey was still a top tier Pokemon, playing Egg Bomb and, you know, Softboiled Eggs as well, so it really doesn't matter all too much. Leafeon, I feel like nothing changed, if I'm being honest, from what I've noticed. It did get nerfed, but I don't think it's too big of a deal. Solar Blade still wins every single lane after level 4. Once you get to level 4, every single last hit is yours. Unite move got nerfed by 11 seconds. It's not really noticeable. You just farm 1 or 2 more Toys, and Unite move still is going to be up again. And with Energy Amplifier, I think Unite moves does a lot of damage, so it doesn't really... I don't think the Leafeon nerfs matter all too much, but still, I think it still deserved some nerfs on the Unite move, so I'm still happy about them. But I think not much has changed. Snorlax as well, I don't think anything has changed. Like, Flail is just too... It's just too random. Sometimes it's very good, sometimes it's very bad. It's so unreliable that it's very difficult to really put as a winner. It got buffed, but... I mean, the Unite move buffs are pretty fine, I would say, as well. But I don't think it's going to be all too much. Snorlax was always still played in tournaments with Heavy Slam and Block, or Heavy Slam and Yawn in tournaments already. So those who like Snorlax in tournaments might play with the Unite move buffs a bit more now. So in theory, it's still the winner, but in the end, I don't think much has changed. Absol is also a big win of this patch. Big fan of it again. I like the Sucker Punch buffs. I like the Unite move buffs. And overall, I think Absol is going to have a good time as well again. You can play almost every build. Every build seems to be working fine. Doesn't matter if you like Night Slash, if you like Psycho Cut, if you like Pursuit. All of them are great. Psycho Cut as well got a small buff because it got buffed indirectly, right? We got more attack damage, but we also have Unite moves up more often. And Psycho Cut and Unite move is a great combo, which means if we get out this combo a bit more often, then we also do a lot of more damage, right? So pretty straightforward, of course. Then we have someone like Urshifu, which I mean, it's still very strong. I don't know if anything has changed out too much. I still have to play it a bit more, but it was still running over me when I played against it. It was still completely destroying me in early game, and it's quite difficult to still, you know, once it gets to level 5, at level 5, like, the nerfs don't matter at all. The nerfs matter for late game. Late game is where it really matters, where you notice it a lot. After level 5, it still is such a strong Pokemon that you don't even notice that it got nerfed, but late game is for sure gets hit, and we might see a bit, you know, less Urshifu. Now let's talk about the biggest winner before I add some more other Pokemon that didn't get changed into this, because they're also still winning on this patch by either not getting nerfed or something. I think the biggest winner is Mew. Straight up, Mew did not deserve a buff. We all know why it got buffed. There's a Holoware coming out for Mew, and they have done the same with Glaceon in the past. We know it from Glaceon, so, you know, the Glaceon buff this year, where Glaceon suddenly was, you know, they buffed Ice Spear and Ice Shard when they were selling a skin. Something we have to deal with. Mew's getting buffed for a Detective Holoware. And yeah, I mean, Mew's the biggest winner. I think it's very clear. Like, it's crazy they buffed Solar Beam. It really is. And let's talk about, you know, this is the one for the changed Pokemon. I think Urshifu can also be somewhere here. Again, I need to see a bit more of Urshifu to really judge it. Lapras still loses, because Perish Song might be gone, but Water Pulse, of course, is still also great. So you also have an option there. Then Talonflame, of course, is a winner because Flame Charge got fixed. Cramorant is a big winner. Cramorant also did less damage on the last patch. Now with the bug fix to Dive, it will do proper damage again. But yeah, one of the biggest losers, or like, I mean, one of the winners is as well is Mewtwo X, because it didn't get changed. And now that Mewtwo Y seems more balanced, I think Mewtwo X is going to go up again. And I think a lot more people are going to play Mewtwo X in general. And Zacian as well. Zacian, also a big winner. Might be the best Pokemon again in the entire game. High chance it is actually the best Pokemon in the game. It was still pretty top tier for a long time. I know that Mewtwo Y got nerfed this patch. Mewtwo X got nerfed last patch. You know, Zacian might just be back as being the, you know, best Pokemon. I don't think there's a god Pokemon right now, though. I don't think there's one Pokemon that, like, makes you have no fun in the game. I don't think that exists, so yeah. And then, of course, Inteleon also getting a Battle Pass in a few days, so sadly also not getting any nerfs because of a Battle Pass. It's annoying. I understand that they have to make money. It's a company after all, right? They have to make their earnings. It's just a bit annoying if the balance, you know, kind of gets worked around them releasing Holoware. Just not the biggest fan of it. Besides that, of course, a lot of Pokemon are winners of this patch because Mewtwo Y is completely gone. I do think someone like Dragapult deserves more buffs as well. So, like, you know, he's still a kind of a loser. I feel like those Pokemon, like, you know, I think Dragapult could have gotten a buff, maybe a small Scizor buff. But I mean, buffing Scizor is always a bit risky. Someone like Greninja. But in general, all of the Pokemon are doing better again because Mewtwo Y, you know, is down here. But I still would like to see a bit more buffs to, you know, Pokemon like Dragapult. Just a tiny bit, doesn't have to be much. You know, to either Dragon Dance or Phantom Force. Even though by Dragon Dance you have to be very careful, it can be very strong, very fast. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a bit something different. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel.